Wow, look at there, y'all. We're live. You
You
believe
did
that?
it. You did it.
Wow.
Yeah, there'll be some people hopping on here in just a second. And really, if I see the one count, I'll just go and we'll just go because most of our watchers seem to be later anyway after the fact.
Let's go.
But here we are for another night of the Champion Brothers ChampCast, Bubba's big broadcast, as my brother usually says. But we are going to talk some Southern gospel. And we're glad y'all are here. I'm here. I'm Neil. We got others with us tonight. Look at that. Right in the middle is Loretta. Y'all met her before.
Hey,
That's my
y'all.
better half. And then look at little brother, cousin Scott over there on the side. He's joining right there in with us, smiling. We
Now,
count him as a champion brother too. So
now, now, I hit that 5-0 next week. Am I still little brother? Seriously?
you are. Sorry,
Okay.
you'll always will be.
Okay.
Actually,
That's fine.
you hit 49 plus 1.
Yes.
Okay, that's what you hit next week. You don't
There
ever
you
say
go.
that 5-0. It's just 49 plus 1.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Chris is not able to be with us this week. Chris is actively involved in community theater and kind of feeding off of his love for it. His son got actively involved, and so Chris and Eli are in a Christmas show that they're working up, and so they had to rehearse this week pretty hard and heavy. So yeah, so I got some helpers in here with me, and we've got some special ones with us too. We're going to talk to in just a minute. But thank y'all for watching and coming aboard. Be sure you like it if you like it, or just like it if you don't, because that lets other people know about it at least. But we are the Champion Brothers broadcast, ChampCast, and we started this sometime back. Oh, it's been two years now ago, to let y'all know about some events that we've got coming to our area there that we grew up in, area that we grew up in. And one of those, the very next one that's coming up is in Fayette, Alabama. That one right there coming up.
Right.
Yes, sir. Let's let Chris is not with us, but let's let Chris tell you about it. Here we go.
The Champion Brothers are bringing it back, Southern Gospel that is, to the Fayette Civic Center, Saturday night, November 11th at 6 p.m. with our very special guest, the Mylon Hayes Family. I'm just as sure he came from glory. The Mylon Hayes Family will be making one of their rare appearances in West Alabama on Saturday night, November 11th at 6 p.m. at the Fayette Civic Center. Admission is absolutely free. We will receive a love offering. Chosen Witness and Faithful Friends will also be singing that evening. We'd love to see you at the Fayette Civic Center in downtown Fayette, Alabama on Saturday night, November 11th at 6 p.m. Doors open at 5 for a great night of Southern gospel music with Chosen Witness, Faithful Friends, and the Mylon Hayes Family. We can't wait to see you there. The Champion.
If I didn't know better, I think he'd done that before.
Yeah, he's done it a
What do you
time or
think?
two. Can't wait. Can't wait to Saturday.
Absolutely, man. But when we first started talking about having these singings, me and Chris got to talking that, there's just not as many of these as there used to be in the area we grew up in. And
Right.
we finally came to the conclusion that, and you joined right in there with us, said, hey, let's just have some ourselves. That's one way to do something about it. And so, and one of the first few groups on that list when we first started was the Mylon Hayes Family. I thought, I wonder, can we get to Fayette, Alabama? And they're going to be there, folks, and you need to be there. You need to bring a load. You need to get that van ready, get it rented if you need to haul everybody, and come and join us. We've had some great concerts, some great worship times last year. This year we had 3 last year. This is our 3rd one this year, and I know this one is going to be outstanding. And you just need to be there.
Absolutely.
Yes. So Loretta, how about we unhide you since you hid there for just a minute?
Okay.
We'll bring you back. And
right.
So I mentioned we got some very special guests, and we're just going to bring them in and just start talking. We warned them ahead of time that, hey, we just kind of fly by the seat of our pants. But we got Scott in here to get a touch of class in it, a touch of really doing it right, So that's why we brought Scott in. So, Loretta, I didn't say you didn't have any class, Loretta, but you know what I mean.
I've never been accused of having class.
He's the professional.
Right. Yeah. We consider him the professional. Yeah. Some of Chris has rubbed off on him when it comes to that. So anyway, hey, let's just be quiet. Look who we've got with us tonight, folks. I want you to look at there. There is Mylon and Wendy Hayes. Hey, y'all.
How are
Hey,
you?
Man, we are great. And thank you for really going above and beyond. I mean, these folks have had some kind of schedule ever since November got started, what
yes.
I understand. And tonight's no different. They're at an event, but they snuck out and got in a little place, a corner somewhere where they could come on here and talk to us. And we really appreciate it. Thanks for going above and
Yes.
beyond.
Well, thank you for asking us. We're delighted to
Yes,
be with you.
we are. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for this opportunity, and we're looking forward to this coming Saturday night. This is her ad there, and it's going to be a great time together, and just a good time in the Lord. So we're just looking forward to that, and meeting some new friends in that area. We never really been to that area, rarely. So yes,
Right.
we hope to meet a lot of new people, and we know a few people over in that area too. So we hope to see some familiar faces as well.
So, Scott, you have to come.
I think I'm going to come. I think I'm going to make it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we can count on that. It would definitely take
Well, that's
some
good.
Great.
some major natural disaster for Scott not to be there, I think.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
and we just hope this
Great.
is the first of many times you're in our area moving
Yes.
forward. But
Yes.
We
yeah,
would love that.
I
We'd love
love
it.
it.
just
We
tell
love
the
it.
tell the folks that are watching this now and that will be watching it after. We have a lot bigger audience even after the fact. Once this is up on demand, that's
Right.
when there's a lot even more viewers. But thank all of you that come and join and watch us live. Appreciate you joining. But
Yes.
for all of those maybe from our area where you haven't been a whole lot, that don't really know the Mylon Hayes family, just tell them, who is the Mylon Hayes family.
Well, we
This
are.
is Mylon.
I'm Mylon
It's-
Hayes.
okay.
And we are a complete family ministering on a full-time basis. It's Wendy and I. We started as the Mylon Hayes family about 12 years ago, and our kids were Kennedy was like 8
Mhm.
years old, and the boys were 12. And so we, of course, a lot of your viewers may remember the Hayes family. I mean, the Hayes family was my mom and dad, my 2 sisters, and myself, and we sang for many, many years, almost about 40 years together. I mean, I was just a kid when we started, and then that. So my dad passed away. It's been 12 years ago, and after that happened, my sisters and mom wanted to cut back some as far as travel, but still wanted to sing a little bit, So I wanted to kind of keep the Hayes family, the original Hayes family name intact, and so that's why we chose the Mylon Hayes family. And so our kids were just, man, they were really young, but they were fired up. We could tell that they had it in them. They wanted to sing. God has given them the talent and the desire to do this, so it's not like we have to beat them over the head to go sing,
They love it.
they love it, and they want to. So, and we're thrilled about that. And God has opened so many doors over the last several years, but we're a complete family. I think you met our kids last night. And so Connor, Bailey, and Kennedy, and of course my wife Wendy and me. So that's who
Good
we
deal.
are.
Mylon Hayes family, yes. That blood harmony comes through so strong when you guys sing. I mean, it's just you can just
Thank
tell
you.
it's a family because there's something different about that, And about you saying you didn't have to drag them and beat them. I mean, me and my brother grew up in a regional local quartet that our dad
Sure.
was the main guy in it, but he never once made us do it. Me and Chris were the same. We just loved it, and he made the way for us to do it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that was great. So I totally understand that for sure. Hey, look at here. We got some folks. Look at Miss Eunice all the way from Michigan watching in. Said she saw your kids last night, and she's watching again.
All
So
right.
Oh,
I
so
hope you're going to have to leave mighty early now to get down there Saturday, Miss Eunice.
We can do
to
it.
see them in
Right.
Fayette,
come
Alabama.
on.
Come
It's
on
travel.
down to the warmer country. So yeah.
Nina
Yeah.
Harrison from Winter Haven, Florida. So yeah, that's going to be
Welcome.
another long ride, but come on up. Yeah, come
Yeah.
join
Yes,
us.
we're going to be in Florida some in January, and February, March. So
Okay,
maybe we'll meet her.
good deal. We'll say hey
Excellent.
to Jason Baines. He's watching tonight. His wife Rachel, she's watching. Hey Megan Isworth, if we're on here, you're just about always watching. Thanks
That's
for
right.
joining in tonight. So
Sounds like
um,
you got some great listeners and some viewers.
Right. They'll watch about anything if they'll watch us week after week. So yeah, we're just tickled. Well, Scott, you're not always on here. I'm talking about me and Chris. They'll watch about
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
So he mentioned singing with the Hayes family back, Scott. Can you show proof of that? And you got some proof of that right there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, look at
Oh
there.
wow.
Oh look.
And so that was a day or two ago, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was 1982.
Wow.
Yep.
82.
So 1982, I was 15 years old.
Wow.
And yep, that album was called "That Blessed Assurance."
Mm-hmm.
And recorded that over in Kingsport, Tennessee, and yeah, that was a good record. We did it with Tilford Salyer. Some of your listeners may remember Tilford Salyer. He was a record label president, Trail Records, and did a good job way back in the early 80s, and the Singing Cooks were on his label, and some others.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that brings back a lot of memories.
This guy right here is a wealth of knowledge. You can pull up anything like that, and I'll say, "When did you record that song?" He always knows the exact year,
Wow.
probably the
Love
month,
it.
and I'm like, "How do you remember
That is
that? I don't
great.
even know where I am." So I guess if I didn't have Mylon, I wouldn't know anything about anything.
Well,
That is cool.
I'm trying to build my LP collection on Hayes Family. I've got 3. I know there's a lot more that I've got to get,
Oh yeah,
but
Yeah,
I'm working on it.
And LPs are coming back.
they are.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
absolutely.
Matter of fact, we just released an LP on our latest recording. So
Yeah.
if you're into the LPs, come Saturday night and get your Mylon Hayes Family vinyl record.
We were at this church the other day, and the pastor's kids, we were showing them the record, and they said, "What is that?" We said, "It's a really big CD."
There you
They'd
go.
never seen a record before. We thought that was so funny.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I was thinking about y'all. You were talking about the family and your children growing up to sing the music and continuing the heritage of the Hayes family. And one thing that I was taken with last night when we were talking with Bailey and Connor and Kennedy, they were talking about that. Really, that's all that they ever remember, is having music. And one thing even struck me. I think it was Kennedy said that, they didn't even realize there was any other kind of music other than Southern gospel music. So I know you two as parents and then grandparents and all was really intentional on bringing them up in Southern gospel. And I think that's a good testament to you guys. We need more of that.
I appreciate that. We raised our family without television, so we didn't have that, but we did have Christian radio in our area, several choices that we could tune in, on the radio.
And we had a TV, but we didn't have TV coming in like cable or whatever.
Yeah,
so we were able to, let them watch some Christian videos and
Andy Griffith Show.
I Love Lucy, those kind of things.
Sports. Yeah.
But their life has been just really revolved around music and taking them to singing school. That's been a big part of their music knowledge, and just like you said, bloodline. It just has really come from that Hayes family gene.
Well, we just played Southern gospel music in our home and in our car wherever we went. Yeah. And of course, they grew up on the Hayes family bus, so they listen. they probably listened to enough Hayes Family to last them a lifetime, But but they heard it live every night, that we sang. So, but it did instill a love for the top music that we do, which is traditional Southern gospel music, and so they love it. They really do.
And I think it's not hard to for us to have raised our family like that, because that's all he did. He loved gospel music, and they sang around the piano all the time and grew up singing. Yeah. And I grew up going to gospel concerts. I was the fan. I was going to all the concerts. And if you were in my car when I was 16 years old, I was driving around listening to the Rex Nealon singers, Gold City, Kingsman, all those kinds of things, and loved it. And so, I had that background of loving gospel music. So it's kind of neat how the Lord put us together.
Yeah.
You know, because we both have a love for it. I just was on the opposite side of the spectrum
Yeah.
with it.
I mean, she sang in your church. You sang, solos and so forth. And she had a desire to sing, in a group or whatever. And God has certainly fulfilled that desire in her heart. So I'm thankful for that. She says she used to sing in a hairbrush when she was getting ready. So
Sound familiar, Loretta?
It does. It does.
Loretta's got the same story.
So did you do the
Yes.
same thing, Loretta?
I did the same. I did the same thing. I had a little record player, and I
Yeah,
had
me
several
too.
groups. Any group that had a female member in it, the Rambos, the Nealons, I would get in my room and I would take my hairbrush and I would play their records and I would sing. And
That's
so
awesome.
it sounds a lot like me.
My problem was I would get in there with the Rex Nealon singers, and I would put my 8-track in, or my record, or my cassette. I'm dating myself there. And I would
Me
sing,
too.
but I would sing with Kelly. Then I'd hop over there and sing with Karen. I'd sing
Yep.
back with Kelly again.
Yes, I was that same way. And I
That's
want to make a
great.
statement about Kennedy, and she reminds me a lot of Janet, your sister.
Oh, yeah.
And her singing and the way she presents herself. I see Janet in her because I grew up listening to the Hayes Family too, and
wow.
and and the more I hear Kennedy, the more to me she sounds like Janet, and it's
Yeah.
amazing. I just love Kennedy. She is an awesome young lady.
Thank you. Well,
She gets compared to Janet a lot just because they both sing soprano. So
Right, right. Well, she has a lot of the moves and
Aw.
the inflections, I guess, that Janet had that I can
Aw.
remember,
Yeah.
and that just every time I see her, I think of Janet.
she normally doesn't sing, our music, with the structure of our group, she doesn't sing quite as high as Janet, but she
Right.
has that, I guess that sharp tone, that
Right.
Janet always had as a soprano, but Janet did sing a little higher. Wendy, of course, has a beautiful alto voice. I mean, even though she didn't study music, she's got a really good ear, and God has gifted her with a beautiful alto voice. So, I'm really thankful for that. And she's easy to blend with.
Yeah, I'll date myself a little bit here too, because I even had, we had a little box over to the side in our car with 8 tracks in it
Oh,
when I
yeah.
was growing up. So we listened to them 8 tracks too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
my dad, me and my brother, my dad and the man that sang bass with our quartet, they would bring out songs sometime for us to learn. And me and Chris would get excited about it. I mean, that is great, And to us, it was a brand new song. We wondered why we wouldn't hear it on the radio and that kind of thing, And my dad would say, son, that song's older than dirt, And it would be a real old song that we just were not familiar with because we hadn't
Right.
listened to all the music. I mean, has that kind of thing happened in your family? Have you brought a song to your kids and like they didn't realize it was a really old song, or are they so into it that they immediately pick up on the older songs?
That definitely has happened before. As a matter of fact, "Oh What a Day," that we kind of an up-tempo old song, but they'd never heard that. They'd never heard it, and and several others, that we've done a couple of hymns and classic projects.
Oh yes.
Volume 1 and Volume 2, and that's happened definitely more than once.
Yeah.
Even though they are, for their age, quite familiar with some of the older songs and know what has been around for a long time. But
Every now and then there's one that pops out that they don't know.
yeah.
Let me say hi to a few more people. Look at there.
Oh.
Blaine Rayleigh's joining us tonight. Said his
Hey.
favorite family in gospel music is on.
Hey,
Oh.
Blaine.
So, yeah,
Thank
Mr.
you so much.
Ken Cook said the Hayes family sung many times at Highland Baptist there in Gordo, Alabama.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
McAdams Quartet, which Ken was a part of for those years, are fortunate enough to be there with y'all. Ken is a part of Faithful Friends. That'll be there Saturday night. So he'll be there singing. He's 80 years old and still singing strong. I mean, one of the best 80-year-old voices you'll ever hear.
Yes.
So
That's great.
Oh man, that brings back a lot of memories when we're talking about Gordo, singing at Gordo and singing with McAdams Quartet, and I know the Fields family from that
Oh,
there,
yes.
the Millport and that area. So
Yes.
sweet family, and that we were singing with some way back in the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Get their
Yeah,
home.
Stayed in their home.
Mr. Wayman and Miss Gail
Yeah.
Fields, they haven't missed a single one of these that we've been having. They've been at every one
Wow.
of them. So I can promise you, if unless something happens, they'll be there Saturday night. And
Great.
they were some of the people that had the huge influence on me and my brother.
Yeah.
Mr. Wayman taught us singing school, and he's the one that let me know that them shapes really meant something, and because we went
Yeah.
to singing school, he taught. And of course, my brother and I were in the FFA quartet there in the school, and Mr. Wayman was the one that worked with us, made us sing those
Wow.
parts 75,000 times before the competition.
Yes.
But we loved it. I mean, it was just great. And of course, we sang many times, our group, with the Fields family. And so, but yeah, that entire family, Miss Gail, and she was a Bryant, and she had brothers that sang. So that Bryant family and them were just big influence. I mean, professional artists that we would see, that everybody would see and all, would influence as well. But those people were right there in our hometown. We would rub elbows with, and they were like our heroes. I mean, the Fields and the Bryants and
Absolutely.
all. And so
We lo-
I just wonder, do you have any influences like that other than full-time artist? Anybody like that in either of your lives that was a really influence to your music and your ministry?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I mean, growing up, there was some ladies in our church, in my home church, that one was the piano player, one was the organist, and one the lady and her husband would direct the music, and they had a little quartet that would sing all the time at church. But she had the most gorgeous alto voice, and she was silk. She was a beautiful singer. And so I remember one time when I was just a teen, she wanted me to start learning to sing solos. And so she taught me Cornerstone. Jesus is the cornerstone.
Oh yeah.
And so I'll never forget her standing there working with me, helping me learn how to sing, just different little places she wanted me to go low and do this and that. And she's just a special person in my heart. Her name is Loretta Denton. And so that was somebody who was influential. That's not a professional singer,
Right.
but she kind of was like the Fields family. Their family went around and sang, and just precious folks that loved gospel music and loved the Lord. And so she was a great influence on me.
Yeah, and even it's kind of a connection between Wendy and me, even though we didn't know each other back in those days. The Denton family, Loretta Denton, sang with her family, the Denton family, and when I was a kid, we would sing with the Denton family all the time. So they were great and had great influence on me. There was a group called the Caravans that were local there, and they influenced me. They were great. I mean, just a super. They could have been a professional group. Honestly, they had that good of a sound and live music. Of course, nobody really had tracks back in those
Right.
days.
Right.
But and then of course, I went to singing school. There was a couple of guys that held a old-fashioned shape note convention style singing schools in our area for several years, and I would go to that. And those guys were highly influential, on my love for convention style music, even though, that was already a part of what we did too. I mean, my mom and dad, my mom plays that convention style, music, call it the windshield wipers, it's the piano player, and so
I got you.
she was so good at that. And so I had that love. But Junior Taylor was his name, and a guy named James Baker. He passed away not long after those singing schools were going on. But anyway, yeah, highly influenced by people, regionally in our area and locally too. So
That was great. Great. We've mentioned several times about last night and talked about your kids. And what we're referring to, for those that might not know, is Southern Gospel Forward. That's a show that the SBM Studios Scott is hosting, and it is great. You need to be watching it because they're having young people on there that are in Southern Gospel music, a part of it. And let me tell you, if you're one of the ones that says you're just scared the music's dying, you need to watch Southern Gospel Forward. There's some
Right.
great kids that are just pressing on. And they were on, Connor Bailey and Kennedy were on there last night. So that's what we're referring to when we said last night. So it's out there. Go search and you can find it on YouTube, on Facebook, and watch that. They had a little bit of glitch, so you might find it in 2 parts on Facebook just because of the technology. But yeah, you need to go out there if you didn't see it and watch that. Hey, Billy Shaw, if we're doing it, that's another one that's going to be on here. He said that no TV programming is a thumbs up for him. So he liked the sound of that. You mentioned erasing your family there. So yeah, Margaret Richardson, glad you're watching again tonight, Margaret. I'm trying to see. There's no way I can call out everybody. Chris does a good job of keeping up with all that, but I miss Chris. Did I say that? Yeah, I did. So we as a matter of fact, we typically play some music. Me and Chris do, mostly old things. We'll play old LPs and talk about them and the memories we have with it. And tonight, at some point, I've got some songs queued up by actually one by the Fields family, one by the Singing Bryants. It was Mr. Wayman, Miss Gail, and her sister back in it's from an album in the 60s, actually. And then that was the Bryant Trio, and then they became the Singing Bryants when the kids came along. And so, yeah, it's funny you mentioned them because we're actually going to play a little bit of that music.
Neat.
But let's see. Scott, did you have something?
I do.
I had one question. Pause.
Go. You go.
And if you guys say we're not answering that, just say that and we'll press on because we didn't screen these. We didn't ask them, is it okay to ask you this? But I just had this thought while y'all were talking. Now you're scared, aren't you? I can see y'all.
I am.
You see it now. I just wonder, Wendy, how many times did you actually see the Hayes family in concert before you and Mylon dated? Or did you even see them in concert before?
Well, that's a
you
funny
dated?
story.
Okay, I'm ready to hear it.
They used to come to my church, and Mylon said we had many opportunities to meet before we ever did, but we never, for some reason, we never connected. But I remember that a lady that was a friend of ours, her and her husband were the principal of the Christian school that I went to. And she was good friends with the Hayes family. And she kept telling Mylon, you need to meet this girl in Morganton. She's a good singer and you just need to meet her. Because Mylon was kind of shy. And so I didn't know this, but she gave him my telephone number. And so for a couple Wednesday nights in a row, he would call after church. Like he'd get home from Wednesday night prayer meeting and he would call me. And our church, we had choir practice on Wednesday nights. So for about 3 Wednesdays in a row, I didn't come home early. And so on about the 4th Wednesday, he finally got me. And we started talking and he said a few things, and then I just kept on trucking with talking. And he said, well, I might could take her out. She'll do all the talking. That'll work just fine.
That's a great story.
That is great.
But she, I don't know, you probably saw us, 2 or 3 times?
Yeah, but I did go to the Bible bookstore after he called me. And I did go to the local Bible bookstore and buy a Hayes Family CD so I could see what he looked like and refresh myself on who he was and what he looked like.
They used to have an Easter singing at her church. It was every Easter Sunday night. They would have a
big church.
It was a fairly large church in Morganton, North Carolina, and the Wisnets and the Hayes family was singing there on that Easter Sunday night, and I know you can tell them that story.
Well,
as well,
I think
right?
the Wisnets. Did y'all go first or the Wisnets?
Oh, I think the Wisnets.
I think the Wisnets were singing first, and I was in there listening to them, and then someone I knew got up and went out, and the Hayes family was coming up next, and so I actually stood in the lobby and talked to my friend during their set. So he says we could have met a couple years earlier if I'd have stayed in there and listened to him.
I see.
But I okay. Isn't that terrible? I'm terrible.
That's something.
listen to the Witness and then cut out on the Hayes Family. But somehow or another, God put us together a couple of years later. All right,
Isn't that something?
That's
That
good
is
stuff.
great. Yeah, Loretta was actually the cousin to our piano player when I was singing with my dad and my brother. So she was Mark's cousin who came to our singings. And I mean, I knew Loretta for 11 years before I ever asked her out. And so, yeah, I was definitely slow. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Scott, go. Because
Go. You don't
they
want to
may
go
be
down that trail.
they
All right.
may be about out of time. Just go.
Yeah. Well, and Neil, referencing that, I know that you guys are right in the middle of Praise Fest in Sevierville right now, and I know y'all are very generous in giving us your time, but we don't want to dishonor that. But
No, that's fine.
so my question, and I know, I mean, goodness gracious, y'all know how I think of y'all, and y'all are my favorites. But I know that we have a lot of folks watching in this area that may not be, the most familiar with you guys. And I encourage everybody, go to YouTube. This day and time, if you type in anybody, you can find them and go watch them and get familiar with the Mylon Hayes family. I'd love for you to go to the MylonHayesFamily.com and just buy every piece of product they have on the site. And now just do it. Well, wait till we get off the air. But anyway, maybe you guys, just to the audience, just tell them, as far as what they can expect from a night with the Mylon Hayes family.
Okay. Yes. We do a variety of Southern gospel. It's all Southern gospel, but we will always include some of the more convention style, stuff. And you may even hear us sing some shape notes. We many times will include a song where we do that because it's such a big part of our heritage. And then of course, my first cousin is Rebecca Peck.
Not Karen Peck.
No kin to Karen Peck. She is a songwriter, Rebecca Peck, and she's been writing for years. If I were to name over some of the songs, that she's written, you would recognize them because about every group in gospel music has recorded some of her songs, or at least some that she's co-written or written by herself. And so we do a lot of her songs. Some of the newer songs are hers.
Yeah.
Of course, the boys will play the piano some, not on every song, but they're playing on some of the songs that we're doing now.
Sometimes they duel up on the piano.
They do, yeah. They do some instrumental stuff, which if people remember the Hayes family, my sisters did that. They would play dual piano, so that's kind of where they were influenced, of course, by that. And of course, I play the bass. And then, our kids will share, during the program, they will share some of the things that maybe has influenced them or has Kennedy wrote a song, and she'll talk about that possibly. And Bailey is doing a song called Jesus Loves You, and he tells the story behind that song. So, everybody kind of takes a turn of sharing, during a Mylon Hayes family program. And so it's not just one person doing all the talking. We will kind of pass that around so that people can hear from everybody.
We kind of tease Connor because Connor's the only one that doesn't like to talk on stage. And so the other night he said something and we all went, Connor, you talk.
That's great. That is great. And I'm excited because most of the time when I've seen you guys, it's been in a, what do you want to call it? Like, I guess a big venue kind of multiple groups where the time frame is a little shorter. So it's not really like where you guys are the feature group to do your whole full set. So I'm excited about being able to see y'all with that.
Well, thank you.
I know. So are you going to come with your request, or can we guess some of the songs you want?
Oh, I'm not going to be greedy. I mean, I know what y'all, I know some of the most recent ones you'll stage. One of my favorites to hear is and I don't think there's going to be a setup where y'all can do your video with it, but Kennedy's latest ballad,
The Witness Man.
The Witness
We're doing
Stand.
that. Yeah, we're doing that one.
That is an amazing song, and she does an outstanding job on it. But no, everything y'all do is my favorite. Y'all might even throw in a Christmas song. You can't never tell,
Ooh.
but we're getting close enough.
We
I
need
hope so.
kids to practice their trio. They've got a Christmas trio. Maybe they'll have to. Well, I don't know if they'll have time to practice
Nah,
by
just no,
Saturday.
not on the spot. But whatever y'all do will be just fine. And I, to the folks watching, I'm telling you, you will not have a higher quality, more class on the stage, better quality singing, better spirit, better hearts. That's the thing that I love about the Mylon Hayes family is they're not just singing the songs, they're singing their hearts because they know our Savior and they want to share them with everyone that comes into the building when they sing. And I'm looking forward to my friends meeting the Mylon Hayes family. I'm looking forward for y'all meeting my Miss Janice. Y'all hadn't seen
Oh,
Janice yet.
yes,
So
we're excited.
All right.
yeah, looking forward to it. But
Well,
y'all,
thank you for that. We appreciate that. And we're looking
Absolutely.
forward to being there for sure.
Yeah, Miss Loretta, I
Absolutely.
think I interrupted you. What were you about to say?
No, he didn't. I was going to request a Christmas song that Kennedy does called "Under the Tree."
Underneath the tree. Yes,
Underneath the tree. Yes,
Yes.
that is an awesome song.
That's a great song.
That was another one written by my cousin, Rebecca Peck.
I did
Wow.
not know that you and Rebecca
Wow.
were cousins. She is an amazing songwriter.
Yeah.
But that makes sense as many Rebecca Peck songs as y'all do now. That makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Now you know why we pick all those because they're
Yeah.
just so good. So
You've
good.
got the first refusal. There you go. I like that. Y'all
Well,
got
I
the
think
end.
it is a blessing for sure to have her. You know, just the fact that she writes just such great biblical truths in her songs. You know, it's all doctrine and it's just great.
Yeah.
She's just a very godly lady, and we're thankful for her, and we love
Yeah,
her.
a Rebecca Peck song does not have fluff lyrics. No,
No.
it's deep and everything is outstanding. Yes, I love her writing.
She's
Yeah,
fantastic.
one of my favorite songs, the Tally Trio did it several years ago, called His Life for Mine.
Oh yes.
That's a great song. She wrote that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
There's some old ones, Even in the Valley. Wistnitz did.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
hers.
Yeah.
There's some great songs out there that she's written and just very talented.
Well, we just cannot wait to see y'all in Fayette.
We're
For sure.
excited. We're
Very
excited.
excited.
So, is this somebody that you guys know? Says, "Hey, Miss Wendy, Lisa
Ah,
Ramsey."
how are you? Yes, I know her.
Okay.
She's with Absolutely Gospel.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
She's a
good.
great lady. Great lady.
Yeah. Good deal. Well, I mean, like I say, you guys really went above and beyond to come
Yeah.
and join us where you are. Loretta, did you have anything you wanted to ask before we let them go?
Now, Wendy kind of answered that question earlier that I had was going to be her background in Southern Gospel. So she answered it already.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, you didn't have to ask, huh?
But I would like to make a statement of another song that the one that Kennedy wrote that I know one little girl
Oh yeah.
that is going to be there that night would absolutely love for Kennedy to sing it.
Okay.
And that's our baritone singer, Randall Sutherland's little girl, Trinity.
Oh,
She loves Kennedy and she loves that song. As a matter of fact, when we're singing, she always wants us, because they sing with us. You know, we get them up and let them sing 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And that is the one song that she always asks Neil, said, "Can I sing Overwhelming? Can I sing it, please? Can I sing it today?" So
awesome.
I know that's her
Well,
favorite song. So
I know Kennedy would love to hear her sing it. She's gotten several videos of young girls and even groups singing that song, and it thrills her heart to hear her song sung by somebody else. So.
Cool.
But she will probably do it that night for sure.
Yeah, and I think you guys actually met Trinity at the Song Fest at Arab because Kennedy actually referenced Trinity from the stage. I think she met her at the table. So y'all probably met Trinity at Arab that night.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think I met her for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Good deal.
We'll look forward to seeing her again.
Yeah.
she'll love it.
Well, she'll have to pop up there and sing that with us.
Oh, that
You
would
better
be
not
her.
ask her.
Yeah.
You
She'll
better
do
not
it.
ask her if you don't want her.
She will do it.
You never know what might happen that night. So come be with us.
Okay.
That's right.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, again, thanks so much for giving us your time and
Thank you.
for letting us. And thanks.
Of course.
I've actually been patient over the last year and a half, waiting on this time, and it's almost here. So can't
Can't
wait.
wait.
Can't wait.
Can't
Well,
wait.
we thank you for the invitation, and we really do hope to meet, so many people in that area because, like you said, we're not in that area very often. So it's going to be a blessing to see some familiar faces like the Fields family, and then just to meet new friends. We're all about the people, so we want to meet the people and just
Worship together.
worship together. Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All righty. Well, we'll let you go, and we can't wait for Saturday. We'll see you then.
God
All
bless
right.
you. Thank
All
you.
righty.
Bless you.
Bye bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Let's just catch our breath now. Can we do that?
That's good.
My goodness, I'm so fired up.
Yes.
But why can't we start it right now? Let's hit the stage right now and let's start the singing. I'm ready.
Neil, wait, you know how that works because you and I are about the same with NQC because I'm already getting sad it's fixing to be over with.
You're right. You're right. Yes. Usually on my drive up, I start sobbing because NQC
Yes,
almost over.
he
Yeah, you're right.
does.
You're right.
He
So here we are.
does.
But
Man.
to our folks that's watching, both, I mean, a bunch of y'all caught Connor and Bailey and Kennedy last night, and then Mylon and Winnie tonight, and they really went above and beyond because seriously, they are in the middle of Gerald Wolf and Greater Vision put on Praise Fest, and they're a central part of that. And I mean, they've been on the road. I think when they hit us on Saturday, it will be the 11th straight day that they have been on the road. They're tired. But what a blessing and how gracious they were to give us the time and come on here and meet you guys. So I hope y'all enjoyed them and getting to meet them. And I hope you come be with us and support them.
Absolutely. Saturday night, this coming Saturday night. I just can't believe it's here, but right there
Man.
in Fayette, Alabama at the Fayette Civic Center, 6 p.m. The Mylon Hayes family will be there. Faithful Friends will sing a few and Chosen Witness will sing a few, but it's going to be all about the Mylon Hayes family being on that stage. And just for some that hasn't come, we kick it off, sing a few, then we have them sing an initial set, usually take a quick little intermission, and then we bring them right back for a second set. So you'll get to hear lots of Mylon Hayes family, get to meet them in the middle, get to talk to them afterwards. I promise you, they wouldn't leave until the last person is spoken to that wants to talk to them, as tired as they are even. But yes, come and join us. It is free to get in. We don't sell tickets, but it definitely costs, and we give you, the people, the opportunity to help support it so that we can continue having these events. We had 3 last year. We're having 3 next year, and at least I got it muted, so that's good. But there is expense here, and that's why we pass it. And we hope people can be very generous. If you can give. If you like music like this coming back to the area, give and help us keep bringing it back. Right quick, Loretta, we just keep covering you up, but I'll just plop this up here. We've had 3 each year the previous 2 years. Next year we're doubling up because we're going to have some events at the Vernon City Complex in Vernon, Alabama. That's 20 miles from Fayette, something like that, Scott. 20 or 25 miles away. And so
15,
we're going to just about every other month, we're going to be, 2 months apart, we're going to be bouncing from one to the other for Vernon City Complex and the Fayette Civic Center. And that's next year's schedule there. We'll keep having these. We'll keep letting you know each time. But yeah, United Voice is going to be there in January. They're out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Mike Franklin, that toured with the Melody Boys Quartet for years. He's a part of United Voice, and they are a great trio, good sound. And I know they've got a heart for the Lord too. And that's anybody that we invite, I firmly believe has a heart for what they're doing. Master's Voice is going to be at Fayette in March. They're out of Oklahoma. They rarely come east of the Mississippi. And I've heard people say, just blessed my socks off. And I felt that when we heard them at the Memphis Quartet show and then again at National Quartet Convention. But Memphis is when I said, if I can bring them to our area and let people hear them, I want to do it. And it worked out. I mean, God just did it. Just bam, there they were. So we're going to have a great time on Master's Voice. Sound Street in June, but back at Vernon, June 1st. Sound Street, an up-and-coming trio. Jared Vanderslice and Scott had his daughter on Southern Gospel Forward already. Go back and watch that episode. But they are full of energy, and it will be a great night of worship. Then in Fayette, do y'all see what that says in July? the mighty Kingsman Quartet's coming to Fayette next year in July. So, hey, what more do you need to say other than the Kingsman Quartet? Then in September, back in Vernon, the Kellys. That's a group from out of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Where was Southern gospel music first? Where did it first happen? Where was it born? In Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, right there where the
Mhm.
Kellys are from. And so they're going to bring a solid sound. They go way back to the Bama Boys days. Me and Chris and my dad and Scott was a part of the Bama Boys, and we sang with the Kellys a lot up in Lawrenceburg back in those days. And so we've known John Kelly that long, and I'm thrilled to have him come. And if I take off the banner where you can see the name on that last one there, look at there, the Dixie Echoes are coming back. That's the one group we've had every year. Had them in March the previous 2 years, and or last year and this year, and then they're coming back in November next year. And so, man, there you go. Every other month, we're going to have some good Southern gospel singings there in Fayette and Lamar County. And I just about talked myself dry then, Scott. What do you think?
Y'all done a good job with the lineup, and just some groups that don't come in this area, and I'm excited about it. I'm thankful for it. I love Southern gospel music. I'm unapologetic about it. I don't think there's any music like it. I love it, and through the years, we've had some in the area, and the resounding theme was people say, I remember growing up, it just seemed like every other weekend we had a big group, Gold City, the Inspirations, Cathedral, somebody was coming around. It was true all around here. I mean, it might be Columbus, Tuscaloosa, but within a 45-minute drive, you could get to tons of concerts. And we just don't have that like we used to. So I'm hoping that all of those of y'all who's watching and joining us, that will support it, because it's an awesome thing to be able to go to a venue like the Civic Center in Fayette or Vernon, and where else do you go this day and time where you walk in with no charge? I mean, even if I go watch some family play at a ball game on Friday night, I got to pay $5 to park, and I got to pay $8 a ticket. And then if I get a hot dog and a Coke, I'm into it pretty quick, about $20. So, and you walk in here free, but we do hope that y'all will prayerfully consider giving generously, because we want to support these that's coming into the area, and those who's putting this on, because I'm pretty passionate about that. God's people are called to support those who minister, and I hope y'all that come will prayerfully consider partnering with us so this can keep going, because I'm thankful for what Neil and Chris has put together and the lineup they've got, and they've done a great job, and it just hadn't been around. I'm glad the Champion Brothers are bringing it back.
Amen. And we just need you folks to help us that watch these, share, let people know about it. Tell them the word of mouth is the best way we let people know about that the event's even happening. We try to do these to let people know, but we need it to multiply. But Billy Shaw, he's one of our biggest supporters, and he said that Brother Doug announced this last night at Shiloh. They have a picking and grinning singing, I believe, at Shiloh there in High Togi every week, and or I don't know if it's weekly or if it's monthly, but. And I'm sure Brother Doug he's talking about is Doug Cantrell, and that's another one that has really helped us out. I know Doug tells many people. Doug's been in just about every one of them. Or is it another Brother Doug?
May have been Brother Doug Horton, but anyway.
Okay, maybe it is Doug Horton. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a great point, and Millie, I'm thankful you said that, because this is Tuesday night, and most of our churches still have midweek prayer service, or Bible study or something like that. If y'all would y'all announce it tomorrow night at your churches? I mean, it's last minute, but it's be fresh on the mind. So Wednesday night during your church services, if you wouldn't mind during your time of announcements, please share this, because we would just love to have you load up the church bus, van, limousine, whatever you got sitting in front of the church, and load it down and come see us.
Please do. Hey, Loretta, look at here.
Yeah, I saw that. I was going to mention that. Hey, Bridget.
Glad you're watching. It is a little bit of a haul from Panama City now, but I can imagine if you were closer, you would be there. Yep, glad you're watching.
I haven't seen her in ages.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen her too.
Yeah.
she was one of them little bitty that just grew up, Scott, and just now, we're just all adults now, so
Yeah, y'all are
all
getting
the little
old.
kids. Yeah, we are 50. You said, isn't that what you said about me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
am
that's what
too.
I
I
thought.
know.
Yeah,
Shut up. I know.
we're getting close to an hour, y'all, but I still want to play at least a song or two before we go. Mylon Hayes mentioned the Fields. The Hayes family remembers Mr. Wayman and Miss Gale. I'm sure they
Yeah.
supported them anytime the Hayes family got around. And I had picked a couple of songs that stem from that. This first one I picked is from an album from, I'm sure it was recorded in the '60s, maybe mid '60s. Maybe I asked Mr. Wayman and Miss Gale Saturday night. They'll probably be there and see.
Yeah.
But this was a song from the Bryant Trio. And I believe that was Mr. Wayman, Miss Gale, and Miss Gale's sister Mavis, I
Yeah.
believe, was the Bryant Trio.
Mhm.
And I just want you folks to listen. Scott, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and start the music. If you would pop up that cover. This is from an album called
Whoop.
uh, uh, "In the Upper Room," I believe was the title of the album. The song is called "A Place Called Paradise." I want y'all to listen to the Bryant Trio from back in the '60s. Yeah, that's what happens when Chris is not here, you see. Try to play the song and it's just not there. Y'all not hearing it, are you? Scott, were you hearing music?
No, I thought we was listening to something a cappella there for a minute.
Well, I think you'd still hear singing, wouldn't you? So
Well, quietly.
uh, let me see here. I'm gonna try it again. Let's see. I'm gonna say that, and there it is, and we're gonna start it right now.
No.
Still no.
No. No, Bubba, we ain't getting anything.
Mm-mm.
Okay, we'll just say tune in next week, and we'll go back to playing some music. Which I really can't see why, because this is how me and you played, Loretta, the last time we were on, and I do not know why it is not playing. So, oh
Hmm.
well. So Chris will feel better because he's had a couple of times where he tried to play and it wouldn't play, and so now I've done it too. So I can promise y'all that was a good song. Y'all probably saw my head bobbing because I can hear it good. Just for some reason it's not going out. Yeah, I know, Billy Chris. Help! I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying inside for sure. I tell
Well,
you what.
what we should have done is we all should have been like bobbing our heads so everybody would thought, "What's the matter? We can't hear it. They can hear it.
Here, yeah.
Turn it up."
Well, they couldn't have seen
So,
me anyway because I had a record in my face.
Yeah, you had it in front of you. You was holding the
that's
record.
right.
Yeah.
So if I say share, I'm gonna look at this one more time while y'all are on here. We just fly by the seat of our pants anyway. I'm gonna pick that right there. There's the tab, and it says Chrome tab. Share that. Also share tab audio. Share. And if I mash play, y'all don't hear this right here.
No.
Nope, nothing.
Okay.
Just
All
sing it
right.
for us.
There's a wonderful country. Da, 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 da. It's a good song, I promise. But yeah, we'll just stop. I have no idea why, because it's showing me that it's sharing. It's showing me that the audio is shared, but it's not coming across. So
Well, it's
we
been
will
in the week.
save the Bryants and the singing Bryants and the Bryant brothers and the Colombian Quartet. I put at the top of the notes influential family
Oh,
because these were families that influenced me. And of course, it's hard to get any closer than your daddy when you're talking family. And I was going to play one of Dad's songs. I remember him singing so well, but we'll just save that for another week. How about that?
That's good.
Chris, he'll figure out how to play the music next week when we're back, when we're talking about how great the Mylon Hayes family was Saturday, November 11th.
Yeah. That's I have some early memories, and most of my early memories involve like you and Chris, Uncle Jake, Aunt Laverne, or either the Richards bunch, Uncle Thag, Aunt Mott, Ginger, Steve, bunch like that. But some of my earliest memories that I have vivid memories of is excitement over when we would travel down to Millport and when the Columbians had that bus, and I got to jump on that bus with you guys. And that was my first exposure to this music, Southern gospel music, was the Columbian Quartet.
That was some kind of great days for sure. Yeah.
And that was about 3 years ago.
Oh, don't we wish?
Yeah.
Don't we wish, man? We went
You
to
know,
bed,
Neil,
we got up, and it was this many years later.
Neil, I was thinking the other day, I remember we moved to Millport in 87.
Mm-hmm.
And July, well, let's see. Yeah. July of 88, you had a birthday. I mean, January of 88, you had a birthday.
Right.
And I remember specifically because I remember there was a cake. I think we had something after a singing, and I remember you were just like, I'm a quarter of a century. I just remember you saying that. I'm a quarter of a century.
Could not believe I was a quarter of a century old. Yes.
And me just sitting here thinking now this time I blinked 2 times, and then Monday I'm going to be 2/4 of a century.
Which would be a half.
Yeah.
Gotta reduce it down now.
But it just seems just like yesterday. That's it's crazy how time flies. But I'm thankful for the memories that we have of those days, and how much of the 3 of our lives, and Chris, and just how centric the music and the Columbians, the Bama Boys, and all those times, just how centric that is to who we are.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm thankful for that. It's a blessing.
Hey, look at here. Let's talk about some real Southern gospel. Mr. Les Butler, we're looking in tonight. Yes, I do agree. The Mylon Hayes family are the best, and we can't wait to have them right there in Fayette.
And it's only about a 3.5-hour drive from Nashville now, Mr. Brother Les. Come on down.
Yeah, you could probably hire a driver and get you right on down there. Yeah. Hey, Cousin Donna's watching there, Loretta.
Yep,
there you go. Speaking
that.
of family, hey, glad you're watching, Donna.
That.
But yeah, it's going to be a great night. I got to say, hey, Mama, because Mama's watching tonight. So I have to get that in every week somewhere. I got to get a hey, Mama in there. And so, hey, Mama, glad you're watching.
Well, thinking about that now, and thinking about those singings, how many times did we come home from singings and have Mama Vern's biscuits and breakfast, somewhere around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I was thinking about that the other day. There was no better food in the world than when we got back and had that breakfast after our singing.
That's right. Yeah. Mom usually, for years there, Mom went with us. She was at the singings and all, but then there was a stretch in time when my grandmother lived there, and Mom was her caretaker, and so Mom was there all the time to take care of her mother. And when we would be out singing, Mama would just hit the stove about 10 o'clock, I guess, to start stirring them up, and we'd have hot biscuits and breakfast ready when we got back. So she fed a house full. I can distinctly remember Daddy saying, speaking of Loretta's brother Rodney, he said, I believe one night, Rodney, we got back, me and you, wasn't it 37 of her biscuits we ate that night? I got that on tape. He said in front of a crowd at a church even. So.
Yeah.
That's probably not too far of a stretch either.
Probably not, because Mama made little biscuits. Them big old cat heads. They were about that big, but 37 of them would have been a lot for sure.
But I don't know. I guess it's hitting in this little stretch of this week that I've got coming up. But I've been doing a whole lot of thinking back, and boy, I tell you what, that memory about the time we moved back, and a lot of meals in the house, and goodness gracious alive, just those were some times, and
definitely.
And like I said, just there's a lot of people that are responsible. Those, if you want to know people who's responsible for this mess, you're seeing a couple of them on the screen. But there's just so many people, responsible for who I am. But there's hardly anybody any more influential than the Champion family. And those memories, I've been going back and just thinking about that, and that's some special times for sure.
The other Sunday at Oak Ridge, Ken was there, and he got up and sang with us, and we were talking about the influence that he had on Neil and I that he didn't even realize he had, because if he had not asked Joe to come be a part of the Colombians, possibility we would have never met.
Yeah.
And it's just the Lord used Ken to bring us together through the Colombians and Mark and James playing and all like that. And you were talking about reminiscing about the singings and those that were influenced. And I can remember being at one of the Colombian singing, and Don Shepherd was talking, and he was talking about a particular song. He was talking about the book of Revelations, and he was talking about coming to Christ. And that just stayed with me for a few days after that. And we were having a revival at the church, and the preacher came by, and the visiting preacher, pastor came by with the visiting preacher, and he sat down and he started saying some of the things that Don had said that weekend before. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's time. I got to get saved. And I did. And and then from there, it just, everything God just put it all together. As Wendy was talking about how God works, it's just amazing when we look back over the way we met and how we got together and all the years, and now ministering together. And it's just amazing.
It's almost like
another special guest, don't we?
We do. I finish by saying this. It's almost like our sovereign God has the perfect plan and has all this figured out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If we just pay attention to him, if we would just pay attention to him,
Amen.
Instead of trying to do it all on our own.
Hey, Chris, it's yours. I'm going to bed.
Chris.
Yeah. No, we had a break and I logged on and I couldn't listen. So I was looking at the captions and I saw something about Mama Vern's biscuits. And I got to get in on that. It took me longer than I thought it would to get on here. But anyway, I just want to say, hey, I've been kind of watching the captions some and a little bit and enjoying it. So I'll go back and enjoy the whole thing later. But I just want to say, hey.
It was good. It was the most words I've ever heard Mylon Hayes speak in that amount of time, for sure. I just had never got him going, I don't think.
Yeah.
We did too. It was great. It was great.
It was.
Well, good. I didn't have anything major to report. I just want to say, hey, while I had a minute.
All right. Well, I tried to play a song and it wouldn't play at all twice. And so you need to feel good about
I rubbed
that.
off on you.
So we'll play them next time.
All right. Who's that over there on my left? Oh, that's Scott. I remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He jumped all up here in amongst us.
At least I didn't jinx this, because last night StreamYard absolutely threw up all over me, and we just totally cut off and went off the air. So at least y'all hadn't experienced that yet.
I meant that. Are the Bradfords coming?
Evan is, I think. I don't know about the rest of the game.
I was going to say, I was scrolling around earlier today and I saw Avery say, ain't woman enough to take my man. I was reckon she'd do that at intermission, but.
Well, we
can just have a Loretta tribute to Loretta or something. I don't know.
Oh, goodness.
That's good stuff.
I didn't cost you any extra. I just felt like
just had to throw it in there, huh?
Good stuff.
Man alive.
Well, I'm sorry to crash the party, but just wanted to drop in while I had a minute.
Now, you wasn't here tonight for all of it, but you are planning on coming on November 11th, right?
I will be there.
Okay.
Me and Eli's got to go to Montgomery Saturday morning for a college visit. Things that just don't seem possible that I should be doing, but I am.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll be coming back in there. I should be back in plenty of time, knock on wood. We'll be there by starting time anyway. So, and I hope all the rest of you will. I'm sure y'all told them about it at least once or twice, haven't you?
Once or twice. We had actually you told them about it when we first started. You told them.
Yes, I started to chime in then, but I wasn't at a good spot, and I was like, y'all got better things to play than that. So. And a quick shout out to all my buddies in Belk. We sung there at Belt Baptist Sunday, and some folks told us they had been watching us. So hey to all my Belt friends.
Good deal. Good
All
deal.
right, I gotta go.
All right. See you
Love y'all.
around.
See you
Bye.
Saturday.
Oh, bro.
All righty.